All right, guys. I had DeBarge, and then you guys can go to work. I have DeBarge at 20. So just about squeaked on. Talk to me about Kyle DeBarge. What do you think?
Well, his speed definitely impressed us. 66 stolen bases, and one of only 3 players in the Midwest League with over 50 stolen bases who spent the whole season there. So that's definitely something to take notice of for an organization that hasn't really developed any speedsters since Chuck Knobloch, which is a very long time. But he didn't hit that well with a 237 at average over 543 plate appearances. He did drive in some runs. Powers kind of still not there. So there are things to work on that definitely will elevate him if he can improve upon them. But as long as he still has a speed and he's still getting everyday reps defensively, then I'm pretty confident that he's looking like a good utility infielder down the road.
Yeah, I would agree with a lot of that. The speed is impressive. The drop off and home runs. I mean, he was kind of a dead pull power or dead pull guy that came into power in his last year in college. And I think the easy comparison there to make was like when Brian Dozier turned the corner and became that guy. Came up as a shortstop at Southern Miss, wasn't great, and then kind of reinvented himself as a power hitting second baseman. DeBarge, I think, offers a little more in the speed category, and I don't think is quite as big as Dozier. But if he develops any semblance of power and can stick it short, like there you have something. Strikes out quite a bit. Didn't hit for really anything. I mean, it's 23 doubles, but when you have that sort of speed, anything that's a down the line should be a double, right? So I need to see a little bit more, but I do think that there's some hope there, and he's 22 years old, and probably going to spend the year at Double A again. It's one of those kind of crossroad years for him, but
Yeah.
If you have a guy that can steal second successfully often, like there's a role for those guys, even if that's their only role. And the Twins don't have really any of that type of player besides DeBarge. So I like him in the the bottom quarter of the top 20, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. I just want to draw a parallel with DeBarge, who had a big power breakout his junior year in college, to Merrick Houston, who also had a solid power breakout his junior year in college that has not translated to pro ball. That's not a slight on either one. I just think it's potentially backing up that the power is a little bit fake. Agree with everything you guys said. I think the profile here is maybe like a super utility, like solid, guy who you can plug into a bunch of different positions around the infield, probably not shortstop. I wonder if there's like a timing issue with his swing a little bit last year. In his first full season, he had a 53% ground ball rate, pretty high. He popped up in 30%, almost 30% of his at-bats last year, which is like a tremendous jump from what it was at last year. Or the year before, 17.6% infield fly ball percentage. So that's a wondering for me is make like in the midst of some swing adjustments if that was a challenge for him. But solid or guy, one of those like super utility types. DeBarge, yeah. 2026 at AA will be interesting. I fear that he may not hit enough, but I would love to be wrong.